Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Spectacle Island. We've just got the wheelbarrow out here. It is time to go and give the chickens a little bit more feed. The wheelbarrow has been sitting in the back of the shed unused, so I thought this would be a good tool, even though it only takes 258 litres to take some wheat out of the silo and go over and feed them. But probably where it's going to be more useful is in cleaning up, because obviously it has the little spade or shovel on the front which acts to auto load or pick up the product off the ground, and we can dump that straight out of the wheelbarrow into the feed trigger. So we're just going to get over here and get them fed and get this little bit of mess cleaned up. Once we're done with the chickens, we've obviously got all the other animals we want to take care of. The sheep, we're going to need the grass cleaned up a little bit, and they will also have a little bit more water. And the pigs, we want to give them some wheat and improve their productivity. And we also might give them some more soybeans just to keep them all topped up. But the main ingredient that's going to make the pigs more productive is the corn, which hopefully we will be able to get onto harvesting today. So that is the plan here at the start. There we go, that is the chickens all fed. So we'll just leave the wheelbarrow here for now. And just take a quick look over here. Like I said, we need to clean up grass around the edges there, a little bit spilt. Top up the water, and then over here with the pigs, pretty much exactly the same. They have some food they've spilt down there and can probably use some more water. Also planning on taking the manure over to the greenhouses. We've only got a little bit in there, maybe, I don't know, 400 litres? Not sure, we'll see when we pick it up. So let's go and jump into the wheel loader or front loader, and we'll put the tank trailer there, the little tote trailer, whatever you want to call it, on the back of this, and we'll get some water and everything over to the animals. So we've got all the animals all fed or watered and cleaned up. They're all happy. We've brought the vent over. Now the reason for that, we're going to take the manure down to the greenhouse. The reason I'm using the vent rather than just running it down in the bucket, I learnt many months ago from actually a video Daggerwin did, his Purbeck Valley series, where he used the onion greenhouse, the same as the potato one, is that you can't actually tip manure into the trigger using a bucket. It has to come out of a trailer with a tip point. So instead of making the same mistakes he did, I've learnt from those, and we're going to take the vent down with the water tank on the back and the manure in the front and get that all into the greenhouse. So that is our next task. Once we've done that, I'm going to put the smaller trailer on the back of this, and we have to, well, we've got all the wood chips up in the field we mowed and made the silage in last time. We've got all the wood chips from the firewood cutting and everything up in those that I want to go and get picked up and put sold. Actually, I'm going to sell those and see what sort of dollar value we get for them. So once we've done the manure, we will go do that, and by then hopefully our helper for the day might have arrived. So let's head down to the greenhouse and see how we get on down there. Must say, it is nice to see all those fences gone. They were a very heavy burden on me for a while there, or for a day or so, while we did not have access to this, and I was worried for a while there that we might never have access to it, but we came through in the end. Now, I think, there we go, so there's the trigger. Now, when you're doing this with a bucket, you don't get that trigger, and we should be able to see, oh, actually you can't quite see there, thought there might have been a fill point, but it does take a lot of manure. And what else is interesting, if I just stand there and you can see in the bottom right corner, and in fact if I bring it up onto the main screen, the manure and water are combined and have a capacity of 100,000 litres. So it's entirely possible to make potatoes. I don't actually need the manure. I could just get away with the water because it doesn't split the two out. It leaves them all just in the one. To me though, that would be a little bit, no, I want to say a little bit cheaty, you know, to be able to grow potatoes in there without having to put the manure in, even though that is a requirement, would not quite feel right. And the purpose of putting these in was to take that manure and use it for something practical rather than just selling it. You never know, in the future there might be a BGA over this side or something like that where we can deposit the manure and get digestate out of, and it might be a better way to use it. But if we just step over here, these doors opened up and we can come in here. We can see that we have at least one of the planter boxes here growing. We obviously have not put enough product in to get them all going, so we will have to work a little bit more on topping that up. But we are growing potatoes, so hopefully as time goes by we will get bags of potatoes to spawn here on this slab, which we'll be able to do what we want with. So looking forward to that. There we go. One of our production chains, or our greenhouses, is up and running, and if successful, hopefully we'll see a line of them along there. Right, that done, let's head back up to the yard. We'll get this parked up, get the trailers sorted out for the back of the front loader, wheel loader, and we'll come down and get all those wood chips sorted out. So we've got the trailer here hooked up, and we will head down to the grass field, get these wood chips all picked up. Now once we're done there, and once we've got our help here for the day, two main tasks I want to get done. Fingers crossed the corn's going to come ready and we can get that harvested. But just as we go past the former wheat field there, I would like to get in and get that planted. I'd like to have some crop growing before we get the before we get the corn taken out. So that is the second plan. The third is, and part of the reason we're clearing the wood chips now, is I would dearly love to get this field ploughed as well. So three sort of main field work activities. We'll be working potentially in all our fields today and seeing how we get on. But for now we're going to focus on the wood chips. I'll get in here, get the trailer disconnected and get these all picked up. I'm going to spare you having to watch that. It will be a pretty roundabout sort of job as we go around and find everything, but I think we should be able to just put the bucket down there and skirt around and get these all picked up. If they don't all fit in the trailer, we do have the capacity of the bucket to take some down to the sawmill as well. So let's just carry on, get this done, and I'll see you when we get down to the sawmill and start getting these sold. Just coming down here into the sawmill, we've got just under 4,500 litres of wood chips. I think there's about 1,200 litres in the bucket on the front, so this might be a good test if we dump that out first to see what we might get for the 1,000 litres or so. I think if that goes into there, see our money is going up. Oh, $300. So if we get $250 per 1,000 litres, so it should be about $750, $800 in the trailer. That's probably not going to be too bad a deal. Let's get turned around here. I think we should, I hope, be able to pull up the side and get a tip trigger. Save us having to try and back this trailer in. Oops, we've got ourselves stuck. There we are. It's a little bit better. There we go. We've got the trigger. So 3,150 litres. $771. So I'm guessing it must be about $250 per 1,000 litres. So not a huge amount, but for picking up just over $1,000 for what amounted to 5 or 10 minutes work to clear that field up is not too bad, and that's all additional to the firewood and everything like that. So let's get back. Hopefully our helper is arrived for the day and we can get into the proper farm work now. We've got these sort of smaller mundane tasks out of the way and get into some field work. We're just getting back here and the corn has ripened. It's ready to go. And it looks like, just standing there admiring the crop, is our helper for today. So let's go out and catch up with him, introduce him to you all. Welcome along, Dylan. Say hello to everyone. Everyone, this is Dylan Myers. Dylan sent me a message or commented on last week's video and said he was a pretty keen combine operator. Didn't mind driving the chaser wagons or auger carts or whatever we have on the farm, and didn't mind doing a little bit of field work as well. So Dylan is here today to give us a hand, and well, it looks like Dylan might be in luck. We might be able to get some corn harvested. But first, before we do that, Dylan, there's a couple of other things we need to do. I want to plant the wheat field. I was thinking about some sunflowers, so that will probably be our choice. And Secondly, I want to get the grass field we mowed last time and collected and made into silage. I want to get that all ploughed. So we could play paper, rock, scissors and choose a task, but we can't do that, unfortunately. So I don't mind which one we do. Any preferences? I'll take your silence as none. Right. Well, we'll go get things sorted out and we'll figure out who's going to do what. I do need to go and see if we need to make any more seed. I'm not sure how much we have already, so that could affect what we plant. But let's go and get moving on those things. Alright, so Kieran and I were just in here taking a look at the planter, and unfortunately we can't actually direct drill with that, so that changes our plans just a touch. I think what we might do, we might get in and tag team that wheat field. We'll put the cultivator on the back of the fence. We'll get the planter hooked up here to the doits, and one of us can run a cultivator through that and the other can do the planting, which would be quite nice to be working together in the same field. We can get that other field ploughed another time, because I am obviously conscious I do want to get into the corn, but I also want to have our next crop in the ground ready to go or starting to grow before we do get into that. So I think that is going to be the best plan. We'll get that cultivator hooked up, get the planter hooked up, and make a start on putting some sunflowers in the ground. So we made ourselves a bit of a deal. I said to Dylan, if he goes and runs the cultivator in that open cab, I'd let him drive the combine, and we'd do the planting. So we've managed to get a bag here out of our seed mixer. I think we have got 500 litres left in there, plus this whole bag, which is still another 600 litres. We've got this planter here is full, got fertiliser and seed in it. So we'll get Dylan underway and we'll go and make a start on the planting. But obviously we need him to do a few headland passes and start on his up and down rows before we can do that. So Dylan is underway with the cultivating, and while he's doing that, while we let him get a bit of a head start, I did remember we had to put some diesel here into the combine. It was running pretty low. If you remember when we came back from the store last time, Kieran wasn't aware that the fuel gauge is a little bit faulty and needs a bit of a tap to make sure you get a correct reading on it. So not his fault. I should have told him. I should have actually checked it when we were down there too. But anyhow, it's not to worry. We do have some diesel here back at the farm. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these, get them put into the diesel tank, and then I might actually run this out and just make sure everything's working. We haven't used this header before, so I'd hate to spend all this time in the field planting when we could be getting this up and running and making sure it works. So I might just go and take a few cheeky rows out just to make sure it's all running and good to go for when we're ready to get into the corn in earnest. So there we go, that has almost half filled the diesel tank, so hopefully that will be enough to get these fields harvested. But we're just going to head on out here and we will go and see how it all runs. Negotiate our way through there, and we'll head over and just do a little bit of this field and make sure everything is working as we would expect. There we go, we need to get that unfolded. Opens the green flap there on the top. We will turn the header on. See the auger is now running. We get that put down and we'll slowly make our way in there. Oh well, so far so good. Oh, we missed a few. But that is working beautifully. Interestingly enough, the corn header isn't as noisy as the grain header is. Oh, this is all this is going fantastically. We better not get too carried away and start harvesting too much of the field. Let's just see how far we can get before we get a full tank, because that'll give us a good gauge on how busy we're going to be running a unload trailer around while Dylan is busy harvesting. Well, we are 70% full, so we're definitely not going to make it around the field and back to the start. So I think before we run along the edge of the cliff here, I might just stop things there. In fact, we've almost got to 80%, and use some of this open space back here just to park up and come around and unload. But that all worked perfectly, and looking at the yield we've got there, we are going to get a fair amount of corn out of these fields, which is going to be fantastic. We'll just put the header down and leave that sitting there for now, and get back to it once we've finished planting the sunflowers over in the other field. Alright, so here we are at the field. We can just see Dylan coming around there on his second headland pass, so that's pretty good timing. We'll be able to make a start here and follow him around. Obviously we're not quite as wide as the cultivator, so as long as he stays ahead of us, we should be all good to keep moving without having to stop for too much. So once he gets around here and just a little bit there in front of us, we'll let him get a little bit of a head start. We'll get into the field and make a start on getting the sunflowers planted. And there he goes, he is making good progress down that side of the field. So we'll get the planter here turned on, get it dropped into the ground, and start heading along the edge of the field here, getting some sunflowers planted. There we go, that all looks to be working pretty well. Now the one thing I do want to check, we've obviously already put fertilizer on this field once before cultivating it, and we're obviously putting fertilizer on now. So just coming over here and checking the fertilizer map, you can see that the fertilizer is being applied. We're getting our second application on, which is good, and moving back onto this one, we can see that something is being planted into the cultivated ground. And it is yellow, which is sunflowers. So everything working as we would expect, which means we can carry on planting and getting everything done on this. I think because we're both working in the field, I think a little bit of a time lapse for this might be the best way to show off the work and keep an eye on what Dylan's doing all at the same time. So we'll catch you when it's done.
Got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the biggest band in town. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Gonna quit my job, never wanna have no boss. I just wanna play my rock and roll like they do on the radio. Tommy's got brand new drums, and I still have my old guitar. And John said this next song's gonna be real good, if you know what I mean. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. Oh, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the where I wanna be. Going on stage headline on a Saturday night. Oh, 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 Saturday night. Oh, oh, oh.
Just getting the last little part of this field finished. It was a bit more of a job than I thought it might have been, and obviously we had a bit of a bottleneck with the cultivator that Dylan was operating being a little bit narrower than the planter. So ideally I probably should have given him even more of a head start than we did, but that doesn't matter. Gave me a chance to time lapse some of the cultivating as well as the planting. So that is us all done. It's just a little bit there, and then I think I'm just going to shoot over here. I think there was a little bit of a row that I might have missed just here on the left. Just put a little bit of seed down over that, but that went pretty well. We've still got a little bit of seed, a little bit of fertilizer, and I do know that's not all the seed. There's still some in both the seed maker and also in the bag back by it. So we'll get that folded up there, and we'll head back down to the yard. Might give this a quick little wash off. It's looking pretty filthy. Then I think it'll be time to put the trailer on the back and make a start on the corn. So we've got the trailer hooked up here, and I have forgotten, I know exactly what I've forgotten, we haven't put the airline in. I do that every time, and it affects the brakes on the trailer. It does not pull very well, which I do really enjoy. I think is a great lever of realism. But the tractor struggles to pull the trailer because the brakes will be applied. I think that's fantastic. But with this attached now, we'll head around here. Dylan is over in the harvester. He's been keen. I think he's been sitting over there since he finished cultivating that field. He's pretty keen to get going. So we just slide our way in under the auger there. We're getting the first corn into the trailer. Now I'll probably actually take the first load over and give it straight to the pigs and get them all fed and as productive as possible, and then the rest of it's going to go into the silos for now, and then we will get it sold hopefully when we get that truck running, so we don't have to do quite so many trips to the sell point. Obviously we're going to have a lot of corn stalks to bale as well, so plenty of things to do. But let's get Dylan back underway and we'll catch you up. Let's get Dylan underway and get this corn harvest going. So first load of corn here, all in the back of the trailer, 7,100 litres total, and we've only just finished the headland passes. So that does bode well for getting a decent yield. Like I said earlier, we're going to give the first lot of this in here to the pigs and top them up as much as we can. See how many thousands of litres they're going to take. I'm going to take all of it. There we go, pretty close. In fact, they are going to take all of it. Wow, I thought that might have been too much for them. But obviously not. So that's good. That will certainly keep them happy. That is the highest, most productive food that they require. So I think from now we will just keep putting loads into the silos, seeing how much we end up with at the end. I'm not sure where the best sell point is at the moment, or even what the best price is at the moment, so we will have to keep an eye on that. But on up and down rows now, so things should slow down just a little bit. We're not going to have to unload quite as frequently, just with all the turning and things that goes on at the ends of each row. But there's not a huge amount left in this field, probably only I don't know, 10 or so passes, maybe a little bit more, maybe another trailer load. 4 headland passes certainly takes off the majority of the field once it's all said and done. So we'll just carry on with a little bit of a montage and see when we are going to jump into the next one. Our possessed bird's back. He seems to be stuck in a pile of corn stalks. Either that or there's a mouse or something in there that they are trying to get out. Not quite sure, but in fact, no, even a honk on the horn doesn't scare it away. Oh, we'll forget about him because we need to concentrate on the fact that we are on our last pass in this field. I should be able to, there we go, cruise control set and run along here beside the combine at the same speed. Get this last few pieces of corn out of this field. So this is only our second trailer load, so I don't think we're quite going to get it full, which does go to show there was a lot of ground in those headlands. There we go, that is finished. So I'm going to go get this dumped off. We'll get Dylan to go and set up and make a start in the next field. Now I might actually make sure we go and pick up these few stray stalks around the corners of the field. Something Courseplay can't do, so we'll have to go and do that manually. Let's head over and get this all dumped out first, and then we'll go and get those things sorted out. So I should be able to just pull up here next to our trigger. We'll be able to side tip out of this. I think we were set on left, so if I just come up there and press U, and there we go, we'll get our trigger. So we'll just get that tipping there into the silos. And there we go. Right. With that done, we'll run this tractor down to the field, and then we'll go and get Dylan in the combine and make a start in field number 2. We'll just make a start here cutting into field 2 before we set up the course, but it should be all pretty straightforward to get done. So we'll just do that now and set Dylan on his way harvesting this one. And there we go, he is all off and underway. Now I actually think once we get the engine started, we should run along here beside while we're next to the track and get the combine unloaded, keep it as empty as possible so that he can make it the whole way around the field. Obviously this field's bigger than the last one we were in. We'll have a bigger headland, and I know we weren't going to make it the whole way around the last field in a single headland pass. So we don't want to make the same mistake or run into the same problem when he gets down the other end of the field. So this is probably about as far as we can go without getting caught up in the trees and whatnot, so we'll just follow along here behind. Give him a little bit of space in case he does need to back up and cut in. Fingers crossed we can get along past the top of the cliff here without having any issues needing to be unloaded and get to the grassed area on the other side between the two fields. So there we go, first lap done. We did make it past the top of the bank against the ocean without any issues, but we didn't make it quite around without having to unload. So it was an awkward little cut-in. For some reason it cuts in quite a way. It almost thinks the auger is longer than it actually is, so instead of just cutting a header width across, it actually cuts quite a way through the field, which then makes it very difficult to position the trailer without running over the crop. But we got it sorted, so we're just going to carry on here. I think let's throw this onto a little bit of a time lapse of the harvesting and us running around in the grain cart or in the trailer, keeping the combine happy and moving and going back and forth between here and the silo. So we will catch you all again very, very soon. We're just running down the last row here and we will be all finished. We're going to get pretty close to having a full trailer, but not quite a full one. So that's all gone very, very well. Now when we get to the end here, I am going to have to jump into the combine and just run around and pick up some of the corner pieces and a few other little bits and pieces which the course didn't allow Dylan to collect. But it's just the way things are, particularly that big bit over in the corner. I'm not sure what happened there. Sort of did a funny little spiral in the field. Not sure if you picked that up or not in the time lapse, but go back and have a look, it was quite funny. But we'll just park this up here because we will want to empty the last of the corn into it, and we will go and get this all tidied up. And there was about 92 litres left out there, so not a huge amount. But that is everything all done. So all we have left now, go dump that into the silo, see how much we have in storage. And then next time we're going to have a lot of corn stalks to get baled. Obviously make, hopefully, a decent amount off those. There certainly is a lot of them there in both the fields. So that is certainly going to take up a lot of our time next time. We've certainly run out of time to do it this time. Let's just get this parked in the shed. We are going to have to organise some more diesel for it before we have to harvest what will be the sunflowers next. But until then, we will be just fine here. Just zoom in so we can see where we're parking. Alright, there we go. That header down, we'll jump off there and head down and grab the trailer. So with this trailer going in, we'll just go and have a look at the menu and see how much corn we've got in storage. So it's just clocking up there just short of 27,000 litres. And if I just cast my eye over the best prices, we can get $550 per 1,000 litres from one of the boat unloading stations. Best price on land is the bakery at $450. Well, Hilltop Windmill actually down the bottom there, $450. So 27 times that is $13,000 or $14,000 of corn there, which is good. We're obviously not going to sell it all because we will want to keep some for the pigs and their feed as well. So I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll see how much we get from the corn stalks next time, because that could determine what we're going to do with it. There we go. It looks like Dylan, he's had a little bit of nervous wreck after that, is there looking at the honours board and probably imagining his name being up there next week. So I think we'll wrap things up there. That's been another productive episode, getting crop planted, getting all that corn harvested, getting the greenhouse production started with the potatoes, and getting all our animals fed. So I do hope you have all enjoyed that episode. Remember, if you want to be my helper next week, make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know what you can bring to help me out. We'll be baling, we'll probably be ploughing the grass field, which we didn't get to today, and possibly even cultivating or seeding these fields here. So lots more to do in Spectacle Island. But like I said, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one. I know it's pretty nerve-wracking driving along the top of that bank, isn't it? But I didn't think it'd make you shake quite like that.